Gulliver Travels Beyond the Moon, the first science fiction movie Toei produced, as well as the first to use Western fables as its basis. I get the impression it was made to compete with the popularity of Astro Boy, who would have released his first feature around this time. While they sure do go beyond the moon in this film, they start on Earth, where a tramp named Ted makes friends with a talking dog and a toy soldier. They go on several misadventures until they find themselves in front of Gulliver, where the plot begins. The first 20 minutes is the weakest part of Gulliver's travels. Most of it doesn't feel necessary, nor do any major character development scenes happen. The only exception in terms of weakness is the space training. This sequence was animated by Hayao Miyazaki, one of his first jobs at Toei, and it's a highlight of the film. The quality of the animation bumps up to a much punchier style. In fact, a lot of the highlights in this film could be because of the contributions Hayao Miyazaki made during the story meetings. Even 52 years ago, Miyazaki seemed to be quite the talent to behold, especially when we talk about the climax, though we'll get to that later. So we're 40 minutes into the plot, and it takes a complete left turn. Now becomes about a royal sci-fi family and their battle against rebelling robots, possibly a reference to the rise in communism at the time. This is where the key problem with Gulliver starts to rear its head. It feels like 2 different animations and 3 different styled sections stapled together, where only part 3 is fun and inventive. The middle section is full of space scenes, yes, and some are even pleasant, but most of them feel padded and unneeded, as if they were waiting for that plot shift to happen, but didn't know what to do. Even the last third has its own issues. The 2 and only songs in the film appear out of nowhere, the first being unnecessary to a fault, while the second does give more about the history of the kingdom, so at least it has that going. I fell asleep the first time I watched Gulliver's Travels. I woke up during the finale. I felt like I'd misjudged it. There was what seemed to be high stakes. Perhaps the character Ted had evolved. He'd gotten a new pair of trousers which were less tramp-like, a new gun, he was shooting with pinpoint accuracy. Maybe there was a training sequence, maybe he had overcome some obstacles. Maybe he had relationships with these characters he was trying to save, more so than at the beginning. The ending has such absolute clarity, it felt like there was a payoff that I'd missed. Then when I rewatched the film in full, I found I knew little more than I did the first time. That being said, the last 20 minutes are still the best the movie has to offer. And if you just wanted to see the fireworks, I wouldn't blame you for skipping the rest. You get to see what might be the first proto-attempt at the Utapon cube animation technique. Do I recommend Gulliver Travels Beyond the Moon? I can't say I do as a whole, though the second half is much more engaging, but I still feel overall it's failed potential.
青い星は新しく生まれ変わるんだ。